Myself, Dr. Raktim Mukherjee, Assistant Professor and Head of the Department, Shri P.M. Patel Institute of Postgraduate Studies and Research in Science, affiliated to Sardar Patel University, Anand. In this fourth video of the series, I shall be talking about tumor markers from the perspective of biochemistry of cancer. We all are aware about the misfortunes of cancer, that there is no complete cure to cancer. We have several ways that cancer can be cured, including Professor James Allison's Nobel Prize winning cancer immunotherapy, CTLA-4 and PD-1. However, it's very important to detect cancer at its early stage. While detection of cancer at early stage before metastasis, the patient's life can be saved. In many instances, the longevity can be enhanced. For this purpose, we need to study tumor markers. Tumor markers can help in detection of cancer. So, first we understand what are tumor markers, or how do we define tumor markers. Tumor markers are defined as biochemical substance, example hormone, enzymes or proteins, which are synthesized and released by cancer cells or are produced by the host in response to cancerous substance. Most importantly, they are used to monitor or identify the presence of cancerous growth. Which are the sites where you find tumor markers? The tumor markers may be present in blood circulation, body cavity fluids, cell membranes, cell cytoplasm, and the tumor markers are different from substances produced by normal cell, and this is the important part. How it helps in detection of tumor or cancer is because the tumor markers are very different from the secretions produced by normal cells, both in quantity as well as quality. That makes tumor markers something special. What are the characteristics of ideal tumor marker? Ideal tumor markers must be produced by tumor cells. If the tumor cell produces the markers, it should not confuse the system. That is, it should not be present in normal or healthy or benign condition. Only during cancerous cells should produce this marker. Only then it can be an ideal marker. Moreover, the tumor marker should be detectable in body fluid, so that with minimally invasive or non-invasive method we can detect the presence of those markers. It could be used for screening in the presence of cancer even in asymptomatic patients. Only then it can be called as a reliable cancer or tumor marker. What are the analytical criteria for tumor markers? First criteria, the tumor marker should have a very high sensitivity. Even in low concentration, it should be within the detectable range. That is, the test method should have very high sensitivity. It should be measurable even at low concentration. The tumor marker should have very high specificity. It should measure a particular tumor marker only, and no other substance should be interfere. No interfering substance should be there. With pinpoint accuracy, it should be predicted that this X marker is for Y particular category of cancer or tumor. It should have very high accuracy. It should be precise, that is very high precision. The method should be simple and easy to measure, and it should not be very expensive or costly, so that the common masses can also take advantage of such tumor markers. Now we discuss the clinical criteria. One of the major point of clinical criteria for detection of tumor markers that every tumor marker should be disease sensitive. It should be sensitive to the disease that we are observing. Here in this case, we are about cancer, we are detecting in cancer or malignant transformation. So, in all malignant transformation, it should be sensitive, whereas in normal tissue, it should not be present. It must be positive in all patients with particular cancer. Only then it can be a clinical criteria. There should not be the option of false negative report, because such a critical case, even emotional distress can result if a patient is told by the physician that you are suffering from terminal stage cancer. The emotional trauma is equally important. So, there should not be any false negative results. The marker should show increased level in the presence of micrometastasis. Even if it is an early stage of metastasis, that is micrometastasis, the level should be considerably significant for it to get detected. The tumor marker should be able to detect any relapse or recurrence in cancer. Many times after significant amount of radiotherapy or chemotherapy, the cancer regresses only to return later. So, your tumor marker should be able to detect such type of relapse or recurrence in cancer. The cancer tumor marker should be associated with a particular cancer, should not show increase. It should show rise in benign tumors and other diseases. It should not show rise and no false positive results. It should be stable and should not show wide fluctuation. The range should be stable. It should correlate well with cancerous process, that is, it extend the volume of tumor. Suppose the tumor volume is less, the concentration should be less. Tumor volume is more, the concentration should be more. So, even the marker will tell you what stage or how advanced the tumor is. It should correlate well with the cure rate, that suppose cancer is cured, again the marker should decrease, suggesting yes, there is significant improvement and cure in the cancer patient. It should prognosticate the high risk cancer patients from a lower risk. It should be a barrier that the presence of tumor marker is high, the patient is at higher risk. The presence of tumor marker is low, the presence is at lower risk. It should be able to detect relapse or recurrence of the cancer. Any recurrence or relapse of the cancer is there, it should be able to well detect that yes, now cancer has returned again. What are the criteria for the tumor marker to be a diagnostic marker? First, it should be very highly specific. Second, it should be sensitive. Third, the tumor marker should be able to differentiate between neoplastic and non-neoplastic diseases, that is cancerous and non-cancerous diseases. Fourth, the increase in level of the tumor marker should precede neoplastic process. This is very important. Sometimes it should tell you about the occurrence of precancerous lesions. Sometimes you don't get cancer initially. In 3 to 4 years, you develop a cancer. Initially, it begins with a precancerous lesion. So, such type of precancerous lesion, that is, it should be able to detect even in preceding neoplastic process. That is another criteria for tumor marker. There should be a clinical use of tumor markers. What are the clinical uses of tumor markers? Ideally, every tumor marker should have 6 potential for cancer patients' care, and we shall study each of these 6 potential. First, ideally, the tumor marker should have 6 potential use, and they are: the 6 potential uses. The first one, for screening, especially in asymptomatic population, that yes, this population is free from cancer. Second, for diagnosis in asymptomatic patients. Third, as a prognostic indicator that cancer has developed. Fourth, as an adjunct in clinical staging of cancerous condition. Using the marker, you should be able to clinically stage what stage of cancer it is, whether it is benign, whether it is malignant, whether it is already undergone metastasis. The staging should be possible. Fifth, for monitoring during treatment of the patients, when the patient is treated either with chemotherapy or radiotherapy or surgery followed by radiotherapy, you should be able to monitor the progress of the patient based on the tumor marker. Sixth and the last, that the marker should be for early detection and for relapse and recurrence of the cancerous process. Should not be that any cancer is relapsed, the marker fails to detect the relapsed version of the cancer. Now, what are the methods of detection? The methods of detection of tumor markers, there are 2 methods of detection. One is immunohistochemical and immunocytological tests, antibodies against the markers. Second, biochemical methods are used for measuring the tumor markers found in blood circulation. So, immunohistochemical, immunocytochemical as well as biochemical methods are used for the detection of the tumor markers. What are the immunohistological and immunocytological tests? They are used to detect those tumor markers which are present only on the cell membrane and on the cytoplasm of cell, but not on blood circulation. Some of the examples of immunohistochemical and immunocytological tests. The first example is immunofluorescence, abbreviated as IF. Then immunoperoxidase, and finally monoclonal antibody, that is your MAB technology, monoclonal antibody technology. What are the biochemical methods that are used for measuring tumor markers found in blood circulation? Some examples are radioimmunoassay, RIA, enzyme immunoassay, EIA, and immunochemical reactions. Now, let us understand the types of tumor antigen. There are 2 types of tumor antigen that has been described. The first type is tumor specific antigen, and the second type is tumor associated antigen. Tumor specific antigen and tumor associated antigen are the 2 types of tumor antigen. Now, let us elaborate what are tumor specific antigen, and later on we elaborate tumor associated antigen. Tumor specific antigen, these are the direct product of oncogenesis, and these are usually induced to get the product. They are induced by viral oncogen, that is virus, radiation, chemical carcinogen, or sometimes unknown risk factor. Oncogenesis causes abnormalities of genetic information available to cancer cells. Thus, oncogenesis, when subsequently synthesizes neoantigen, they are specific to cancer cells. These neoantigens play a very important role in clinical oncology. Now, we discuss tumor associated antigen. Tumor associated antigen are also called as oncofetal proteins or antigen. They are shown to exist both in embryo fetal tissues as well as cancer cells. These markers are produced in large quantities in the fetal life and are released in fetal circulation. However, after birth, the oncofetal antigens disappear from blood circulation. They are present in trace amount in normal healthy subjects. But what happens if the same healthy subject during the later stage of their life they develop cancer or they develop malignancy? So, with the onset of malignancy in adult life, the synthesis of oncofetal antigen in the fetal life, which was supposed to be in adult life, this is again reactivated with malignant transformation of cells. So, whatever has stopped after birth, after malignancy, again the synthesis takes place, and that is why it is called as a very good marker. Why? In normal circumstances it is not present, however with malignancy it is present, and therefore it is a very good marker for detection of cancer, or it is a specific tumor marker. The reason, it reappears in cancer cells, this is important, it reappears in cancer cells and in blood circulation. This is retrogenetic expression theory. Retrogenetic expression theory initially disappears and later on it appears again, but only in malignant cells, that is retrogenetic expression theory of tumor antigen. So, that summarizes the role of various tumor markers. In the next segment or in my next video, I will be talking about classification of tumor markers, but before that, thank you very much for your kind attention. Do log in to the next video where we will classify tumor markers.